We're back again with more of the Worst Team series. This time we're in Hoenn. I know you guys are probably going to be expecting us to go to ORAS, but today we're actually going to be covering Ruby and Sapphire instead. I figured this was easier, and as much as I wanted to continue Best Team tradition, Ruby and Sapphire just hold a more dear spot in my heart versus the remakes. But yeah, Generation 3 pretty much has the same problem as Generation 2 does, in terms of the physical special split, and most Pokemon having really bad move pulls. That's also another reason as to why I wanted to start Ruby and Sapphire in Hoenn first, instead of ORAS because of these mechanics. Well, these mechanics, making a Worst Team for Hoenn will be easier a lot. I should also mention I'll be covering Emerald in a separate video, because Emerald is actually different in terms of making a worst team, so expect that soon enough. For now though, let's just focus on Ruby and Sapphire. So today, we have a sponsor, being Raid Shadow Legends. Now I'm not normally a huge mobile game fan, but I have to say that Raid Shadow Legends is something a little more up my alley. It released not too long ago, but I can already tell how ambitious of a game this is. It's more comparable to a PC game than anything, and you don't have to pay a dime for it. From what I've played, I can say it's got a pretty solid story so far, fantastic boss fights, player battles of tons of different champions, customized to add to your collection, and awesome graphics to top it all off. I discovered the game not too long ago, but in less than 6 months it already had 10 million players worldwide, which is just crazy. From what I've played, I'd have to say my favorite champion is Elaine. Yeah, she's a starter champion, but I love the whole bow and arrow aspect to her character. It's one of my favorite ways to fight in turn-based RPGs. I'm really liking it so far, and clearly I'm not the only one that feels that way, as it nearly has a perfect score from over 300,000 reviews. Raid is growing really fast, so if you decide to start playing, I feel like checking out this roadmap would be worth your while, as it details out their planned updates for the future. New faction, tag team arena, and even a new clan boss that you can take on with your friends in your clan. You can find me with the name Mystic Umbreon, and being that I'm still pretty new, there's plenty of room for some of you to join my clan. So why wait any longer? Check out the links in the description and you'll get 50,000 silver, as well as a free epic champion from the new player program to set you off right. I wish you luck in your journey, and with that said, let's get back to today's video. Essentially, the worst team is a team of the worst Pokemon in the region of Hoenn. It's not going to have 6 Gulpin or Feebas or anything like that, or Magikarp. It'll be a team that is bad, but can still have a shot at actually beating the games. It'll give you a challenge, but it won't be impossible to beat by any means. If it's a pain in the butt, then good, that's the point. As always, I will be providing a moveset for these included Pokemon that include TM moves, but will not include post-game tutor moves or egg moves. As always, we'll be going over a list of important battles that these Pokemon can try their best against. Those important battles consist of all the gym leaders, Elite Four members, champion, rival, and the evil team leaders. Now for this particular worst team for Hoenn, it'll only be for Ruby and Sapphire, as Emerald has a fair amount of differences I think would warrant a different team being made. With that being said though, let's hop into this worst team and prepare for a 7.8 out of 10 water hell. So like always with the worst team, we're going to ditch our starter because they're actually semi-decent. So in our case, we will be starting off with Mudkip in order for our rival to have Trico as a starter. Trico is arguably the worst starter for Hoenn because grass types just get smacked in Hoenn, so it should be easier for the worst team to work with now. Alrighty, on to the actual starter Pokemon. Starting off this worst team for Hoenn, we have Linoone. Linoone actually is probably one of this team's MVP Pokemon because of course it's normal typing. Normal type Pokemon have access to a very wide move pool, and on top of that, it is the best HM Slave Pokemon. It's got alright physical attack and speed, with the aid of it having a fun ability being Pickup. Pickup is an ability that allows Zigzagoon or Linoone to pick up any random item, so that will bring a little spice to the playthrough, especially if you can pick up a rare candy. But yeah, Linoone is the better Pokemon on this team, and I think it will be a little more useful. For a moveset for Linoone, we have Strength/Return, Iron Tail, Shadow Ball, Rock Smash temporarily for Norman, which will then be replaced by Slash or Belly Drum. Return is the one normal move I recommend the most though, because it has 102 max power if it has max happiness. The power of Return is definitely Linoone's best bet at doing any serious damage. Strength is here if you want to use Linoone as more of an HM slave, but it still has 80 power. The Return TM can be found in Pacifilog Town from an NPC inside of a house. Strength can be used until then if you want as well, and the HM for that is given to you by Wanda's boyfriend in Restorative Tunnel after you use Rock Smash to smash one of the breakable rocks. Next up is Shadow Ball, and this move is here for Ghost type and Psychic coverage. This move will be a big help in the playthrough, as you guys will see soon enough. The Shadow Ball team can be found in Mount Pyre. The next move we have is Iron Tail, and that will be used against some Ice type Pokemon, just in case, mainly being Glacier's Ice types. The Iron Tail team can be found in Meteor Falls after you get Waterfall. Rock Smash's HM is given to you by the Rock Smash dude in Mauville City. His house is in the southeastern corner, I'm pretty sure. Slash is another option for normal stab if you guys want a fast hitting attack that has a higher crit chance. Slash can be learned at level 41. Belly Drum is what I recommend for it though, as Linoone can get max attack with the cutting of its HP. With all of Linoone's attacks being physical, this can help out a lot and can pull you out of jams. Belly Drum can be learned at level 53. With this moveset, Linoone can do its best against Watson's Magnemite and Magneton with Rock Smash, Norman's team with Rock Smash, Tate and Liza's team with Iron Tail, Phoebe's team aside from Sableye, Glacia's Glalie, Steven's Claydol, Cordillera, Armaldo, and Metagross, and finally, Wally's Gardevoir. Linoone, as with the other two worst teams, serves as a decent early Pokemon that can help you throughout the games with a little bit of coverage as well, dealing out some decent normal stab damage. Obviously this thing isn't good, but it's good enough to make the worst team for Hoenn. The next Pokemon we have on our team is naturally our flyer, or in this case, Hoenn's toilet, Pelipper. My god, do I hate this Pokemon with a burning passion, and I am sure a lot of you guys do as well. Pelipper is one of the worst Pokemon to use in Hoenn in terms of a playthrough, but oh boy is it useful, having access to all the HM moves we need. It has access to Dive, Surf, Fly. It's pretty useful for a toilet. Plus, in my opinion, I believe it is the worst flyer in Hoenn when it comes to the purpose of just using Fly. So due to that, of course it's going to be the worst flyer on the worst team for Hoenn. The worst team for Hoenn is Pelipper's One True Home. Pelipper's moves are surprisingly not that bad, and I think will actually help you guys quite a bit in terms of coverage as well. We got Surf, Fly, Ice Beam, and Thief. The Surf HM can be given to you by Wally's father once you defeat Norman in battle. Fly is there because we don't want to walk anywhere, and that HM can be given to you by May right before Fortree City when you defeat her. Ice Beam is great for coverage. Dragon-type Pokemon, Grass types, Ice Beam is very strong and will be very reliable. The TM for that can be bought from the Marvel Game Corner for 4,000 coins. It's not that bad, honestly. The last move we have is Thief, and that's there because I didn't know what else to do with Pelipper. I guess Shockwave is also an option, so you can use that. Shockwave can be found after you defeat Watson. Thief can be given to you by a grunt inside of the Oceanic Museum in Slateport. Who knows? Maybe Thief can come in handy against Phoebe or something. With these moves, Toilet Bird can try to flush away Roxanne's team, Brawley's team, Flannery's team, Winona's Swallow and Altaria, Tate and Liza's team, Sydney's Cacturne and Shiftry, Phoebe's team aside from Sableye, Drake's team, Steven's team aside from Skarmory, Wally's Altaria, Roselia and Gardevoir, Mayor Brendan's Swallow, Numel and Grovyle, Courtney's Camerupt, Tabitha's Numel and Camerupt, Maxie's Crobat and Camerupt, and finally Archie's Crobat. You know, I'm gonna have to take back a bit of that trash talk on Pelipper. It may be one of the worst Pokemon in this region overall, but for this worst team, it actually has quite a few battles throughout the region that it can help take on. Under the right circumstances, of course, though. Plus, it can serve as both our Flyer and Surfer. Way to go, Pelipper. I'm sorry I crap on you so much. Zipping and Zapping up next is the cheering Pokemon, Plusle. I feel electric Pokemon are necessary in Hoenn because of all the water routes. I think I also demonstrated how important an electric Pokemon is due to Manectric being on the Hoenn best teams. The worst electric Pokemon for this job is undoubtedly Plusle. The only real difference between Plusle and Minun is the fact Plusle has 85 special attack versus Minun's 75 special attack. But Mystic, isn't Minun the worst option choice? Yeah, it is, but they're both pretty bad and there really isn't much of the difference. Plus, Plusle also gets a move that I think is better than anything that Minun can get, and will help us out a lot. Oh, and there's also the fact that Plusle also has a really bad move pool. That's another reason why it's the worst electric type Pokemon in Hoenn. Oh well, they get the job done, I suppose. You are going to be disappointed with Plusle's moveset, but this Pokemon doesn't have very much to choose from. Anyways, here we go. We got Thunderbolt, Fake Tears, Thunder Wave, and Hidden Power. Thunderbolt is the best attack Plusle can get. The TM for this can be given to you by Watson after you do Numaville. Fake Tears is the move I was mentioning that Plusle only gets. That move can be learned to level 28. Fake Tears drops the opponent's special defense by 2 stages. That will help Plusle out a lot. Thunder Wave is great for paralyzing opponents, and crippling your opponent's speed is also great. Thunder Wave is automatically on Plusle when you capture it. The last move we have for Plusle is Hidden Power, and the TM for that can be found in Fortree City in one of the tree houses. This is here because it's all that's left for Plusle. It can be any typing, it's a mystery. With these moves, your Plusle can put a shock to Winona's Swallow, Pelipper and Skarmory, Sydney's Sharpedo, Glacia's Celio and Walrein, Steven's Skarmory, Mayor Brendan's Swallow and Wailmer, Maxie's Crobat, Matt's Carvana and Sharpedo, Shelly's Sharpedo, and finally Archie's team. So yeah, Plusle sure does take care of a lot of those water and flying types, but that's it. It only serves that purpose, and it can barely do that as is. So in other words, it's perfect for this team. Buzzing up next is the worst member on this list, Volbeat. This Pokemon can be found over on Route 117. Volbeat is the definition of trash in every way possible. Illumise is technically the worst bug Pokemon as it gets no bug type moves, but we did want the bug coverage, so we decided to go with Volbeat. But Volbeat's move pool is slightly worse, so that makes up for it. It's trash regardless, and by no means is choosing it over Illumise going to make your Hoenn playthrough any easier. So that said, let's get into its moveset. Surprisingly, Volbeat's moveset isn't complete trash, but the stats to go along with it are, so keep that in mind. It's got a lot of coverage, but really bad stats to go along with that coverage. Regardless though, let's hop into that moveset. We got Secret Power, Signal Beam, Giga Drain, and Thunderbolt. Secret Power is one of the better moves Volbeat can get, and that doesn't say much. The Secret Power TM can be found over on Route 112 from some dude standing in front of a tree. Signal Beam is next, and it's the best bug type attack we can get. That attack can be learned to level 25. Giga Drain is there because of coverage. The TM for that can be found on Route 123, south of Mount Pyre after surfing. You must also have a grass Pokemon on you in order for the girl to give you the TM for Giga Drain. Thunderbolt is the last move we'll be giving to Volbeat, and it's pretty much there for flying coverage. There are two ways to get a Thunderbolt TM, one being from Watson after you complete New Mauville, and the other from the Mauville Game Corner. I recommend the Game Corner one because the easier Thunderbolt TM you should give to either Plusle or Minun. With these moves, Volbeat can struggle against Linoone, Swellow, Pelipper, and Skarmory, but just be careful of those flying attacks. Tate and Liza's team if you watch out for Solrock's Flamethrower, Wallace's team, Sydney's team, Glacia's Celio and Walrein, Steven's Skarmory, Claydol, and Cradily, Wally's Gardevoir, Mayor Brendan's Swellow, Wailmer, and Grovyle, Courtney's Mightyena, Tabitha's Mightyena, Maxie's Crobat and Mightyena, Matt's team, Shelly's team, and finally Archie's team. Now don't get me wrong, there's definitely some good coverage here with Volbeat, but don't get too comfortable with that. This is still the worst team after all. With how bad Volbeat actually is, this is not going to be a walk in the park by any means. Slithering up next is Magcargo / Slugma. We are greeted with another Pokemon that is atrociously bad. Magcargo has a really horrible moveset, it has terrible stats, and its typing is just pure butt. Plus you can't evolve Slugma until level 38, so that alone makes Magcargo and Slugma terrible. I don't think I need to explain any more than that. Plus it's just god-awful slow. This Pokemon is meant to be on a worse team. Thankfully Magcargo's moveset is actually pretty good. We got Flamethrower, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Toxic. An early fire attack for the Magcargo line is Ember, and then later on Flamethrower, and that can be learned at level 36. Earthquake is here for coverage against other rock type mons, and the team for that can be found in C4 Cavern, right before you face off against Maxie or Archie. Rock Throw is an early rock type attack for Slugma, and that can be learned at level 15. The main one we want though is Rock Slide, and that can be learned at level 48, plus we have Stab at that point because of Magcargo. Lastly, due to Magcargo's defense, the last move that I think it'll do well with is Toxic. Toxic is great because it stalls the opponent's health. It dwindles down double damage every time Toxic inflicts. Use this against Pokemon that won't go down. The team for that can be found in Fiery Path past some movable Strength Rocks. With this moveset, Magcargo can try to beat out Flannery's team, Winona's team, but you're insane if you use it against Pelipper, Sydney's Cacturne and Shiftry, Steven's Skarmory, Aggron, and Metagross, Wally's Altaria, Roselia, and Magneton, Mayor Brendan's Swellow, Courtney's Camerupt, Tabitha's Numble and Camerupt, and Maxie's Camerupt. So yeah, Magcargo exists. It sucks and is probably the worst out of all the Pokemon on this team. So how could it not be on? Lastly on the team is Peter Griffin's Chin. Castform has 70 base power across the board, and it's literally a pile of garbage, so why not put it on the team? Castform is given to you once you clear out the Weather Institute of either Team Aqua or Team Magma members. Talk to the scientist and he will give it to you. The only good thing Castform has going for it is its move pool, but because all of its good moves are already taken thanks to TMs, its move pool is bad now. Castform is simply here for filler, so good luck with what you get out of it. The moves we will be giving Castform are all weather based, being Weather Ball, Rain Dance, Sunny Day, and Hail. Castform is honestly more of a utility-based Pokemon more than anything, and can help out Pelipper and Magcargo if you're in a jam. Weather Ball does damage based on the weather, and you can control that with the weather moves. All the weather moves can be learned at level 20, and Weather Ball itself can be learned at level 30. Castform honestly feels like it's doing its job like a competitive mon in terms of utility, but hey, it works, and it's a new strategy for the worst team. Also, 70 base all around for a worst team isn't that bad. Use Castform when you see fit. And finally, with these moves, Castform can attempt to turn the tides against Winona's Swellow, Skarmory, and Altaria, Tate and Liza's team, Sydney's Cacturne and Shiftry, Glacia's Glalie, Drake's team, Steven's team, Wally's Altaria, Roselia, and Magneton, Mayor Brendan's Swellow, Numble, and Grovyle, Courtney's Camerupt, Tabitha's Numble and Camerupt, Maxie's Crobat and Camerupt, and finally Archie's Crobat. This thing sucks. Balls. It looks like them too. However, it has some decent coverage with its form-changing abilities, so it can definitely lend a hand on Hoenn's worst of the worst. Well, that wraps up this worst team for Hoenn. When making this team, there was surprisingly a lot of Pokemon to consider, but I really believe I got the worst of the worst picked out. What do you guys think? Do you agree that these are the worst Pokemon Hoenn has to offer? Or did you have another team in mind? Let me know in the comments below.
If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. I also have an anime channel called Mystic Sage where I create a bunch of anime speculations and reviews, so if you like anime content, consider checking that out. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream a lot of Pokemon content and Nintendo content like Shiny Hunting, Showdown Battles, Explorers of Sky, Zelda, Fire Emblem, Smash Brothers, Borderlands, you name it, I play it. Want to support me further in Game Club perks? check out my Patreon. Daniel Leone, Lady Crimson, Pal491, The Lazy Leo, Matthew Young, Awesome Lego, Jarrett Weezosted, and Sodden Grider did, and I want to thank them personally for going above and beyond. It means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrion, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.